So are big brands just too expensive? Let's find out now with consumer expert Kate Hardcastle from Insight with Paschal. So Kate, let's start off there. Why is the allure of big brands fading? I mean, have some of these big names just shot themselves in the foot, really, by hiking prices?
This is the rise of consumer power, and I think we've seen it in many different ways. We have, of course, seen the significant impact of own brand shopping, which is where we've seen many of those big stores create their own proposition, often at a value price, and consumers are saying, we are not going to pay high prices for the status quo anymore. We are going to expect more for value for money. But I think there's some other trends in there as well that are also impacting brands like this. We've seen much more in terms of indie brands come through, so independent labels, where they make their mark through social media, tell their story, and are more impactful. And I think also there's been distrust when it comes to those power brands, in the consumer wanting to understand with more transparency and authenticity, what do you stand for? Where is your product coming from? And what does it mean to me in my household? So I think there's many elements woven together, causing some troubling times. And the best way for these brands to face into it is getting with the rhythm of what consumers want in today's world.
Now, Kate, for P&G, while earnings came in better than expected, sales were weaker, and a big part of that was down to a slower demand from China, which is their second biggest market. So what is your take on the Chinese impact to a lot of these brand names?
It really doesn't matter whether it's in fashion. We heard the same from the Uniqlo parent company, Fast Retailing, last week, or many other brands. China, and the challenge there is certainly impacting, and it can't be relied upon as a territory that's just going to equate to instantaneous growth. Like every single area, consumers are under pressure to get value for money, and brands have to really stand up and stand to be counted. That doesn't mean you can have a one-size-fits-all as a set of brands either. It's got to look into the culture and community and diversity of each region and appeal to that. And I think the one thing that does unite, though, is consumers understanding that when it comes to value proposition, when it comes to independent brands that have a different type of messaging, or indeed whether it's just a case of a make do and mend in some situations, consumers are very price aware and they're wanting value and much more bang for their buck.